Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Samuel Ridley, and I'm going to give you a few words of encouragement on the day this afternoon during the looking like the end of the pandemic quarantine. Coming out of Psalms chapter 30, verse 5. For his anger lasts only a moment, but his favor lasts a lifetime. Weeping may endure for a night, but rejoicing comes in the morning. I just want to focus on those last two sentences. Weeping may remain for the night, but rejoicing comes in the morning. I always tell my players a story. It's one of my favorite stories that I use. There's back in the 1800s, there were two brothers. One brother was a rich banker, lived in downtown New York, had everything he could financially he could want. He had another brother who was poor, lived in the Midwest, lived in a dirt shack, was a poor farmer. Around that time, gold was discovered in the western part of the United States. And as we know from some of our history lessons, a lot of people left the East Coast and ventured west trying to get rich quick, trying to get rich off gold, finding gold. So the rich banker convinced his brother and his four children, his four sons, to sacrifice and leave everything he had, sell it all, and move west with him to mine for gold. Took a little bit of convincing, but reluctantly the poor brother moved. The richer brother moved as well, but with him having finances and being a rich banker, it wasn't a big of a sacrifice for him. As they got out there and they got to mining things, they bought the mine, bought the tools. The poor man had his sons come in working the mine for him. The rich brother had hired some people to work the part of the mine for him. And they were going through mining, and they were not having any luck at all. They just couldn't find gold. They kept finding things other than gold, but just couldn't find gold. Couldn't find that thing that would allow them to be rich right away, quickly as promised. Years went by. The richer brother and called the poor brother into his area. Said, "Hey man, look. We're losing a lot of money in this mine. We're trying to, mine for gold. We're not having any luck. I'm gonna go ahead and move back home." So got about a month left before the bank seizes the mine, and we're out. We're homeless. The poor brother pleaded with his richer brother because he had left everything. He had sold his farm, moved him and his sons out to the West Coast. They were mining for gold. They were promised that they were going to be rich. So the poor brother had a choice to make. He could leave with his brother, be homeless, and try to figure it out. Or he could stay at the mine for the next month, see what happens. So every day, him and his boys would go into the mine. The rich brother had moved back to the East Coast, had taken all his workers with him, all his workers that went on to work other places, and every day they just kept swinging. He'd walk in to his boys, and no matter how they looked, discouraged they looked, they would just keep swinging, keep working the mines, keep hitting on the ore. And the last day before the mine was to close, the bank was going to come seize it. The father finally struck an ore, and it was a copper vine of copper, and that's actually how one of the copper mines out in Arizona was founded. Just the legend behind it. But I always tell my players that story as a reminder to keep swinging. In this time of pandemic, this time of uncertainty, we could, as believers, I know we have a bunch of questions. I have a bunch of questions, a bunch of things not adding up. Our government and governors and leaders are doing questionable things, and not everybody's agreeing with. You got all kind of conspiracy theories going around. I just encourage you to keep swinging in this pandemic. Just keep going forward. Like the verse says, "Weeping may endure for the night, but joy comes in the morning." This is going to end at some point. No matter what you're going through, the bad times are going to end. I'm looking rough right now. Need a haircut, different things, and I'm just looking forward to it ending. But while we're in this pandemic, while we're quarantined, we're at home. Some of us are going to have some decisions to make with our jobs opening up, and we're not opening up depending on what's going on, I encourage you to keep swinging. Keep just going at it every day. Keep waking up every day, trying to better yourself, getting closer to God, getting closer to your family, getting closer to people. Keep growing. In the sense, it's one of the things I always preach to my players with the keep swinging is to keep growing. No matter what failures may happen, failure is nothing more than an opportunity to grow. Just embrace your failure. Embrace it, learn from it, and grow from it, and then just keep swinging. This will end. One day, the quarantine will be over. We'll have a vaccine. We'll have a treatment. We'll be able to get on back to our regular scheduled programs. But coming out of this, as the story said, they went looking for gold but found copper, and they were still blessed. So even coming out of this, you might be looking for gold while you're in this quarantine. You're going to come out with copper, but either way, you're still blessed. And you'll be in a better position than you were going into this. So just keep swinging every day. Just wake up, find a new reason to do something for someone else, call someone else, encourage them. If you guys need anything, you can always reach out to us at Empowerment Community Church, where Walter Lee Simmons Jr. is the pastor. We have a wonderful staff. We're willing to do whatever we can for anybody, whether it's prayer, if you need a little toilet paper towel or something, we might can scrounge something up, need a little food, we can come up with that. But I just encourage you right now, just keep swinging, keep moving forward, keep fighting forward. Whatever's going on in your life, just keep going. Don't give up. All right, thank you. Y'all have a good night.